Comparison is the thief of joy, and it could be your financial downfall.
Hi, I'm Kelly Burnside with Burnside Law Firm right here in West Columbia. Life can bring unexpected challenges, but you don't have to face them alone. From personal injury to workers' comp to probate, I'm here to help you protect what's most important. Give us a call at 803-619-5430 or visit burnsidelawyer.com to learn more. And just remember, if you slip and fall, give Kelly a call.
Hello, and welcome to the My Father Said podcast, where we discuss all things faith, finance, and family. I'm one of your hosts, Ryan. I'm both a father and a son.
Hey, everybody. I'm Robert. I'm Ryan's dad, and I am my father's son.
And we are so excited for you to be joining us. Today, we wanted to talk about really just comparison. If you have heard us talk about our book, Financial Harmony, Personal Fulfillment, there is a chapter in there about comparison. And we wanted to just kind of flesh that out a little bit more and talk into that. So with that, we'll go ahead and get started.
Yeah. One of the things that we notice and we see quite often that is always a challenge to someone's investments, especially when they are not following a well thought out, well created, well implemented plan, is that they get in conversations with someone. It could be their family member, their brother-in-law, or their neighbor across the picket fence, or just a coworker or somebody, and you get the inevitable comments about, my 401k statement today is looking like this. It looks really good, or it looks really bad, whatever they say. And then the other person is thinking to themselves, that's not what mine.
Yeah, mine's not as good.
Or mine's not as bad, or it's just, they start comparing things, and then inevitably what becomes from that is questions begin to arise in their mind, and they start thinking, I wonder if I should be doing better. I wonder if I could be doing better. I wonder why his is doing better than mine. It's just these different thoughts that come in, and people begin to build some disgruntlement out of not knowing what they don't know,
right? Or
not knowing what they can't recall, or just not knowing based off of they don't really have an idea what it was they wanted the money to do anyway.
Right.
So it's we're going to talk about that today. And as Ryan mentioned, there's a story in our book that is a true story, as a matter of fact, about some of our clients' names go unmentioned, who basically worked together at a company, and they got into a discussion one day. And now they didn't tell us this, but it was interesting because they both came in around the same time after they had their conversation. And when the first person came in, we didn't have any idea a conversation between the two had taken place.
Right.
But when the second one came in a few days later, it was like, I've already heard this somewhere.
Yeah.
And it didn't take long to figure out, this is what's happened. They are sitting beside each other in a cubicle, and they got to comparing notes.
Right.
And so what we want to talk about today is to help everybody understand that financially speaking, not everybody is playing the same game.
Right. Yeah.
And to give you a visual picture of this, Thanksgiving just came by, and we watched, our usual Thanksgiving ball games. And, you got the traditional Detroit Lions on Thanksgiving Day, and they're playing football. But now if you were to get the Detroit Pistons out on the football field, and the Lions were trying to play football by basketball rules, and the Pistons were trying to play basketball by football rules, or basketball, or whatever the rules are, and they got them all mixed up and tossed back and forth, you would have a terrible outcome.
Right, yeah.
I mean, it would be a terrible outcome.
Two separate games,
perhaps on the same field in the same stadium, but two completely separate games.
Right.
And the reality is neither one of them's going to score very well.
Yeah.
So we wanted to talk today a little bit about the dangers of comparing your investments to someone else's, especially if you don't know they're playing a different game.
Right.
And also if you don't know what the game you're playing.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
And so all of this hinges on you knowing what your financial plan is and why you've got it set up. If you're just putting money out there and you don't know what you're aiming for, you don't know what the goal is, you'll be swayed one way or another. Hey, I'm not doing as good here. I'm not doing as good there, whatever the case is. But if you know your plan and you know what you're going for, that's the benchmark that you compare everything, not what somebody else is doing. When we were talking about this and preparing for this one, I was thinking of some of the other goals that people could have. And I was trying to think a little out of the box, not necessarily, hey, this person wants to retire with this much money and this person wants to retire with this much money, which is why there's a difference in their goal. But I mean, just life in general, like what if the person you're working beside, they have a aging parent that they're taking care of and you don't? Their goal is going to look different because they've got to take care of their parent. They've got questions on, hey, is this parent going to stay with us? Are we going to put them in a home? Are they going to get to the point where they can go live on their own? Are they at the end of life? There's going to be costs associated with that you're not. And so they have to plan for that. Same situation is you're sitting next to somebody and they have to be, they are so much more aggressive and they're making so much more money than you are, or their return is higher. But what they haven't told you is, they didn't spend the first 30 years of their life investing and now they're playing catch up and you're not. You started sooner. You don't have to be as aggressive. And so there's a rhyme and reason as to why someone might be doing better than you, or if the market's down, they're doing worse than you. But it depends on what the goal is based off of your plan.
Yeah. Another one we see in here about a different game is when an individual comes in here and mom or dad has passed away and has left them an inheritance. Now, generally, mom and dad are generally minimum 20 years older than the person who is receiving the money,
right?
Generally speaking. And so one of the things that we find out is that individuals, they want to hold on to something that mom or dad has done.
Yeah.
And they have this affinity with it. And how mom and dad had their portfolio positioned,
yep,
they're hesitant to make that change because well, this is the way mom and dad had it.
Right, yeah.
And what we have to remind clients is, well, mom and dad were playing a different game.
Yeah.
All right, mom and dad might have been into capital preservation with income, whereas here you are 20 years later, and it might be like you just said, they didn't do a very good job at accumulating their own portfolio. And so now this sum of money comes in and it gives them the opportunity to reposition it to play their game instead of the game that mom and dad were playing.
Yeah.
So playing the same game or knowing the game you're playing is vitally important.
Yeah.
Vitally important when it comes to making sure that you have yourself positioned to accomplish the score that you want to score at the end of your game.
Yeah, and that's another thing too. It's if we're using the term, the game that we're playing, doing this example we talked about, mom and dad passing away, they're in the last quarter of whatever that game is. So their rules and the way that they're operating is in the last quarter. Defense. We're playing defense. We're ahead, whatever it is. Whereas you're still playing offense. We're still trying to get something here. We're trying to rack up the score. The thing with, inheriting money, if mom and dad are at minimum, 20 years older than you and they pass away in their 70s or 80s, realistically, that means you're in your 50s and 60s still working. You're in your prime earning years, which is also why the IRS makes you start taking those RMDs because they want as much as they can in taxes. But when you inherit that money, mom and dad weren't working. Mom and dad were retired and they were living off of the income. You are still working. So yes, there's this sentiment of, hey, mom and dad had it set up this way. I don't want to change anything. That's not lost on us here by any means, but the way they were positioned is probably a lot more conservative than you need to be because they were in the last quarter of the game.
Very well could be. They were playing defense. Yeah, defense is a good offense, but offense playing defense that's usually not a good game plan.
Right.
It kind of keeps you from scoring. So yeah, you're right about that. Another thing that you want to look at and consider is the person who is playing the game. When you compare yourself to them, they might be a decade older or younger than you. Their income might be significantly higher or lower than you. Their debt levels might be significantly more or less.
Yeah.
So there's a lot of things that goes into how a person is positioning their plan so that they can reach their score that they want to get in their game, which may not exactly be the game that you're playing. So the danger here is when you start looking at someone else and you start having these conversations, well, my portfolio's doing X, or my advisor has me in ABC funds and you're in DEF funds, and you begin to wonder, well, why am I in DEF when ABC is doing so much better?
Right. Yeah.
And you've got to understand, to use your analogy, what quarter of the game are you in, and are you playing offense and are you playing defense?
Right.
Are you on the sideline or are you in the field of play? Where are you at in the stadium?
Right.
Is the best way to say this. So yeah, you want to have these. You want to know where you're at.
Yeah.
All right? Am I on the 40-yard line or am I on the 35 on the other side of the field?
Yeah.
As you can tell, we're doing everything football because we really don't know a lot about basketball. But yeah, I can't understand basketball. It goes too fast.
Yeah. And football's better anyway. So
Yeah, it is. It goes. And basketball is like thuggery. You watch
thuggery.
Thuggery. You watch
Thuggery.
Yeah, you watch them. They're out there elbowing each other and falling down on each other. And if you're LeBron, you're doing the flop all the time. Somebody shuts the door at the concession stand, he falls on the floor. I can't even watch basketball.
Well, you consider that thuggery, but not people just absolutely targeting and laying into each other in football?
No, that's football.
So there's a difference.
Yeah, that's football. That's the way it's always been.
It's
always been.
Yeah. Did you know? Oh, fun fact. So, did you know? I don't remember what year it was, but if you were playing football in the NFL and you hurdled someone, that was a flag. At one point in the NFL, you could not hurdle people; you had to run through them.
Do you know one time in the NFL they didn't have the forward pass?
Yeah, it was all running, and like people were dying, and so they were like, "Hey, let's mix it up a little bit," and they started doing the pass.
I think probably one day what happened was somebody got hit and the ball popped out and somebody caught it out of the air and some coach on the sideline went,
I like that.
yeah, I think we can put this in the game.
Yeah. Hey, who was the coach? This was a college coach. He had to be taught. Scott, will you look this up while I'm bringing it up? There was a college coach that his staff had to talk him out. If it was third and short or fourth and short, he proposed the idea of getting a small person, put them in the uniform, and the play would be to throw them over the line.
Wow.
Who, Scott, is that?
I know the story well.
Yeah, who is that?
Wow. Well, we're about to have dead air time here, so we can't wait on Scott too awfully long, but could you imagine being that player?
I'd love it.
Being the one tossed over?
That'd be great.
Are you kidding me? No, because all these defenders would be coming and they would be hitting you in the air. I mean, just ping-ponging you.
That's
from one to the
fine.
other.
That's fine. Think about the longevity you would have in that career. You only go out on the field on third and short, fourth and short.
Yeah. I don't think
I think the only place you would get a longer career is a kicker.
I don't know. See, that's a whole different game. That's an example of a game. That's a game that I wouldn't be playing. I would not want to be the guy being tossed. I'd want to be the guy doing the tossing.
That's fair.
Right.
That's fair.
Mike Leach.
Texas Tech. Mike Leach with Texas Tech.
Well, see, that had to be Coach Leach, rest his soul. That has to be a made up story because sure, I know Coach Leach would have done and has said some really crazy things if you look at some of his YouTube shorts.
I mean, GPT says that it was a fake story, but Google says it's Mike Leach. So whatever AI we trust.
See, that's what I'm saying. I don't see Mike Leach. I mean, I've seen Mike Leach give wedding advice on the sidelines. I've seen him give chef advice and food taste opinions on the sideline, but I've never heard him. Oh, and I even seen him try to offer one of those guys that came out on the field to kick a field goal, like during like a Dr. Pepper thing.
Yeah.
And where he's like, hey, let's go offer that kid a scholarship because he made a 20-yard field goal. All right. But I've never heard of Mike Leach saying, yes, let's get a short guy and throw him across the line. I've never heard that.
And what a brilliant play, though.
Yeah, I can't. And you know, the thing, the shame about Mike Leach, if I've got this right, and I probably do not, but I think Coach Leach was just 6 victories shy of being eligible for the College Football Hall of Fame.
Oh, man.
Yeah.
That's
so
tough.
according to their rules, he'll never be in the College Football Hall of Fame. And if anybody deserves to be in there, it's Coach Leach.
Listen. Rules change all the time. What was it? Pete Rose just got into the Baseball Hall of Fame.
Well, he probably bet on it.
Well, he's in.
Yeah, he probably bet on it. But anyway,
Oh, goodness.
back to playing the same game.
Yeah.
So for those of you out there listening, this last 4 minutes that we just went through, completely ignore it unless you're a Mike Leach fan who was Mississippi State, Texas Tech, I think Washington State also.
Or if you like the idea of throwing little people over the line of scrimmage, contact your legislator and they got NIL, they're paying college kids. We can represent that community in football, okay?
Wow. Yeah. I'm not sure if we're going to start that. But anyway.
Can't you see it now? Shane Beamer, they're it's 4th and short, and you just hear Beamer ball, and they throw him over the line.
Yeah.
That's amazing.
Yeah. Well, it's the Gamecocks, and what would happen is he would fumble. All right.
Wait. Here we go. If you catch the guy that has been thrown over the line,
Is it an interception?
is it an interception? See, we have got something that we could put some time into.
You know what? Let's just forget about the subject of today's portfolio, and let's just discuss how we can change the game. All right? Yeah.
Hi, I'm Ashley Banks with Allstate right here in Columbia. Life can be unpredictable, but your insurance doesn't have to be. My team and I help protect what matters most, your family, your home, and your future with coverage that fits your life and your budget. Give us a call at 803-769-0051 and let's make sure you're in good hands.
And here's an example of why you should never fully marry your plan rock hard, solid, because sometimes detours come and you have to make a change. And throwing the little guy over the field, sometimes you might have to do that with your plan.
Yeah.
So let's look at that a little bit more. So what's some other things that might affect comparing? Mindset, education, upbringing.
Yeah.
I mean, whereas here in our practice, we know it because history has proven it, that anyone can become successful financially if they are playing the right game and they play their game.
Yeah.
If their game is the right game, then they can become financially successful regardless of their financial position they're in now.
Yeah.
However, what we have also found is that preparing yourself to get some knowledge about the game that you're going to play helps tremendously.
Yeah.
I mean, we love it when our clients trust us and they follow us and they do precisely what we say. We love that. But we absolutely cherish it when our clients begin to educate themselves and they understand why they are playing the game they're playing,
right,
instead of just hoping they pick the right sport.
Yeah.
And so that's something else that we find helps out a lot whenever you are in the investment world and you're trying to make certain that you don't fall prey to the whims that are going on in the world. A hot stock today will be the cold stock tomorrow, making sure you're not chasing those things, that you're not listening to the noise, but what you're doing is you're just focusing on your plan because your plan fits the field that you're playing on.
Yeah. And it's, another thing with the comparison is, with age comes wisdom, knowledge, behavior. Your portfolio might not be doing as well as someone who's older than you, or it might be outpacing someone who's older than you. But the thing is, they've been around for a while. They've seen a thing or two. They've got their behavior under control. Like, for example, I know this is something I have to keep in check. Young guy, when a hot stock comes out, or if there's this sector, something in AI or whatever that really attracts me, I kind of fixate on it and I'll look at it and I'll go crazy diving into it and think, hey, I might want to do this. But you, on the other hand, we look at something and you're like, hey, you know what? Tried and true. I'm going to stay in this because today's hot stock is going to be a cold one tomorrow. That comes with age and wisdom and knowing yourself and getting your behavior. So that's another thing. When you're comparing someone who's significantly older than you or whatever the case is, their behavior, their knowledge is going to be a little bit different than yours. And so their portfolio is going to look a little bit different than yours as well.
Mm-hmm. True story. Cryptocurrency is a good illustration of that. Cryptocurrency is not a security.
Right.
So obviously we cannot offer any advice on that. But people treat cryptocurrency like it's a security when it's not. It's a currency.
Right.
And, currency is only worth the paper it's printed on.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, truly. And to prove that to you, you ever heard of the Confederacy? I remember when I was a youngster, there was this old fellow who lived down the road from us, and he had this trunk down at the end of his bed. He opened it up one day and showed it to me, and it was like a laundry basket full of money. I mean, full of money, all of it completely worthless.
Yeah.
It was Confederate money. So, if the Confederacy ever came back in, he was set.
Yeah.
All right, he was ahead of the ball game.
Yeah.
But we know how that story ends. It's not the case. So you got to be careful. So whenever you hear somebody is making a fortune in crypto, and people are doing that,
Mm-hmm.
all right. Whenever you hear people's making a fortune in crypto, you have to ask yourself, is that the game I need to be playing?
Yeah.
It's okay to look at the ball game.
Mm-hmm.
But what you have to ask yourself is, do I want to be the guy that's being tossed over the line at 3rd and 1 or 4th and 1?
Yeah.
Do I want to be that guy?
Yeah, because you think about it. If you're in the example of cryptocurrency, let's just take Bitcoin for example. And again, this isn't advice. This is just we're trying to illustrate something here. If you're a young person with decades of work, you might be able to stomach a swing from when Bitcoin went from 115 to 80,000. You might be able to stomach that. That might be part of your plan and part of your goal. If you are 60 years old, looking at retirement, or 70 years old and you are retiring, can you stomach that? Now, on the flip side of that, there's times where Bitcoin's doing really well, double digits, and somebody's thinking, man, I'm missing out. But you've got to take a step back. Where are you? What quarter of the game are you in? Does that line up with your plan? Can you realistically take a 30% drop the first year of your retirement? Not many people can.
Yeah. Yeah. So the important thing here today that Ryan and I wanted to bring to you is it's always interesting to have those water cooler conversations and when somebody feels they're doing really well on their statements, to basically start doing some comparison. Mm-hmm. It's always okay to do that.
Yeah.
But make sure that you understand that what game you're in. I mean, because their conversation might be coming from the afternoon game on CBS, and your conversation might be coming from the Monday night game on ABC. It's the same game, but it's not the same field.
Yeah.
And so you got to know what you're playing. And so what we would encourage you to do is know your game, know your plan, understand your plan, and just follow your plan. What everybody else says is noise.
Yeah.
And just look at it that way. It's noise.
Yeah.
And oh, by the way, not everybody tells you the true story of their plan. So they're going to tell you all the great things that it's doing because they don't want to look foolish in front of you. And if they are doing bad in their plan, it's probably not as bad as they think.
Mm-hmm.
So as long as they're in the game, they should be okay, depending on what playbook they're playing by.
Yeah.
So there's always so many things that you got to consider. So know your plan, know the game you're in, and you should be fine.
Yeah. That's good. That's good. Yeah. Yeah. Like Dad was saying, the water cooler conversations, have those conversations. If you're open and you like having those conversations, have them. Talk with your friends, talk with your family. That's fine. But don't let that derail you from your plan, and don't let it make you all of a sudden change the goals that you otherwise might not have had. Now, if your plan changes, Spoiler alert, it will. It will change with you. It will change with your family. It's going to adjust the longer you go. Keep your financial plan in the loop. Keep your financial advisor in the loop and adjust it according to that. Adjust it according to you, not what everybody else is doing, not what everybody else is saying.
You got it. That's all I got.
Cool. Well, guys, this has been another episode of the My Father Said podcast. Again, this comes really right out of one of the chapters of our book, Financial Harmony, Personal Fulfillment. If you like what we talked about today, please check back in with us. Have a listen to the next episode we have. Go and check out our book. You can get it on Amazon. And with that, I'm Ryan.
And make sure you support our sponsors who are sponsoring our program.
All right. Make sure you sponsor the, support the sponsors. And with that, we'll see you next time.
Later.
The opinions voiced in this video are for general information only and are not specific advice or recommendations for any individual. All performance referenced is historical and is no guarantee of future results. All indices are unmanaged and may not be invested into directly. Economic forecasts set forth may not develop as predicted, and there can be no guarantee that strategies promoted will be successful. Securities offered through LPL Financial, number FINRA SIPC. Investment advice offered through Good Life Advisors, LLC, a registered investment advisor. The Tippleton Group and Good Life Advisors, LLC, are separate entities from LPL Financial.